Hi, this is Carl with another super success video for managed service providers. And in this case, anybody who owns any business anywhere or works for a living. So today I want to talk about a really great quote from a friend of mine, James Kernan, who said, "Never confuse results with effort." So James was teaching a class on mergers and acquisitions, and he was talking in particular about people speculating about the value of their business. And when you've worked someplace 15, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, you think, man, I put so much work into this business. It has to be worth something. Well, here's the thing you have to remember. You are destined to work your entire life. You may have seen one of these funny memes or whatever that says, yes, of course it's difficult. That's why they call it work. No matter what you do, whether you're working for somebody else or working for yourself, building a business, growing a business, getting to the point where you can place your business to be sold, it's hard work. You are destined your entire life to work hard. There's nothing wrong with that. That's sort of table stakes that gets you in the game. But when you confuse effort with results, then you begin to think that the harder you work, the more value you create. And that is not necessarily the case. Sometimes you work really, really hard to get a business to the point where it makes profit. Many people work for years and years and years and go out of business. The classic stats on this are that, a good chunk of people go out of business every year, and that, about 85% do not exist anymore after 5 years. So it accumulates over time. And so if you've been in business 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30 years, you've put in an awful lot of work that got you somewhere, but you could have put in a bunch of work and not gotten anywhere. And here's the thing. Do not be depressed about this. Sometimes the effort that you put in is pointed in the wrong direction. Sometimes the effort is in the right direction and it's just not as good as it needs to be. Sometimes the effort is completely off base. Sometimes the effort is just right and just the right amount and in just the right time and just the right place, and you become super successful, which is awesome. Remember, you do not control most of the universe. So your effort might be towards something that's all working great, or towards something that's not very productive, or it might be completely lost. Now, you can control effort pointed in the wrong direction, but you have to figure out what the direction is. We've all heard about goals, objectives, strategies, and tactics. Well, here's the deal. Effort falls into the category of tactics, things you do to make stuff happen. And very often, we use the wrong tactics. Sometimes we're working on the wrong things, which means we have important goals, but we're working on a short-term thing when we should be working on a long-term thing. We're spending our time organizing the office instead of getting sales, right? Sometimes we're going to get sales and we try to get sales, and then it's a matter of, okay, do you have the right tactics? And you can work really, really hard with the wrong tactics and you will not get good results. It doesn't mean you're stupid. It doesn't mean you're untalented. Part of the success of any marketing program or any work is that you have to go down a lot of dead ends in order to figure out where you're going. You have to try things. And when I tell you, do this, it worked for me in Sacramento, California. Okay, you can legitimately say, I'm not in your market. I don't have your clients. I don't have your employees. I don't have your solution stack. I'm not delivering what you're delivering. So stop telling me this worked for you in Sacramento, California. I don't live in Sacramento, California, right? So what works for one person, you can learn certain things, you can adopt it, but you have to try it in your market with your people, with whatever you're selling today, right? So the point is that you have to keep changing the tactics over time. You have to try different things. What worked for you perfectly last year may not work next year, right? So you have to keep being nimble and going out there and trying and do what works for as long as it works, changes it as soon as it stops working, and, find something that works some more. I love the idea that we have to be conscious of the fact that, no matter how hard you work, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to be successful, right? Effort is awesome. And to be honest, effort really is table stakes. If you don't try anything, well, I can almost guarantee you're not going to be successful because you haven't really tried, right? But you have to figure out where you're going and how you're going to get there, and then you have to execute in a way that's going to make it happen. And so don't be discouraged because, there's a lot of effort that has to go into what you're doing. Probably, if you think about all the effort it would take to be an employee for 30 years, and all the effort it would take to be an owner for 30 years, and all the effort it would take to be a manager for 30 years, 90% of it is going to be about the same in terms of difficulty and frustration. Sometimes owners misremember what it was like to be an employee. It can be discouraging to be an employee. It can be discouraging to work for an entire year and not get a bonus, or to not get a raise, or to not even be treated as well as you think you should be treated. So a lot of times effort is not rewarded the way it should be. As a business owner, you have a lot more control over that, but you have to be conscious of where you're going, how you're going to get there, and what tactics you're going to use to make it happen. So be reminded of this, but do not be discouraged by it. You need to keep an eye on results, because at the end of the day, measuring results is what actually matters. Measuring results, which frequently turns into profit and long-term success, measuring those results is key to making the right decisions and to continually changing and fine-tuning so that you are always making money, always moving forward, always successful. You're going to put in the 90%. You're going to do the work most of your life. That does not mean that you will have a valuable business ready to sell at the end of your career. At any given point, you can get discouraged. At any point along the line between year 1 and year 29. And if you quit, all of your effort is gone. 100% of it, in a puff of smoke. So don't quit. Absolutely don't quit. And for years and years and years, I've told people, don't walk away from your business. And we're finally at a point where a lot of people in IT consulting are realizing that they've actually built something that's worth selling, because, they've really built something around themselves and they think of it as something that they can't be sold. But realistically, if you've built something of value, then it can be sold because it can be valuable to somebody else. You're always going to have the work. That's your lot in life. That's the way that it works. That means that you have to have goals and you have to work towards them, and you have to pick the right strategies that help you execute for profitability, execute for the long term, execute for your success, and eventually execute for your exit strategy. I appreciate any comments or questions you have. Put them down below. Like it if you like it. Please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. For Small Biz Thoughts, this is Carl Polachuk, wishing you the best of luck in everything you do.